Hello everyone, this is H to the Husky here with my good friend HDstarcraft, and we are doing 2v2. Really quick, I want to say I'm not playing as Husky, I'm playing as Foxy, as my other account is locked out because my authenticator actually stopped working, so I have to call up Blizzard and get that fixed. But for now, I'm going to be the blue Protoss over here on the right side. I guess it's kind of the cyan color, and down here on the bottom center is HD. How are you doing, HD? And talk about our luck, both playing random and getting Protoss as well as Zerg, both of our main races.
Yeah, rolled the dice twice and got them both lucky. Good thing that we are playing as Zerg and Protoss, because we are in the Platinum League right now for 2v2s, HDstarcraft and Foxy. We previously played the 5 placement matches really quickly, got into Platinum League, so these two players we're playing against are pretty good, most likely, since it is in the Platinum. And so it's a good thing that we are Zerg and Protoss, and hopefully we'll be able to show a good game. One thing I do want to mention is this was casted over the live stream last night, Monday in the morning. So if you guys saw this on live stream, then you guys get to see it again.
It is definitely worth seeing again. This was one of our games, like you just said, that we played extremely early, man. I think we stayed up to at least 5 just playing games that night. It was really fun, and we do like to live stream it. You guys can watch both HD and Husky get owned by noobs, and also stomp on a couple noobs here and there. But anyways, I don't think I mentioned our opponents. Broods is the red Terran, and Good Morning is the darker blue Protoss. So it is a TP, so Terran Protoss versus Protoss Zerg. A pretty interesting matchup, which can be a lot of fun. But I can't wait to get away. And HD, are you actually getting your spawning pool earlier than you usually do?
Yeah, I'm actually throwing down the spawning pool at 13 rather than 14, because in a 2v2, typically you do want to get some Zerglings out early on, just in case you do, try to rush somebody or somebody tries to rush you. It's always a good idea to get Zerglings. Not to mention that the team that has a Zerg player on it is going to be able to control the map early on, which offers a lot of advantages. Besides capturing the watchtowers, you'll be able to keep both players inside their base for fear of Zerglings just kind of running in there and taking out their economy.
It's absolutely crucial that you do mention this. You haven't taken the watchtowers yet, but you do usually get those very early as a Zerg player, because it's only costing you 25 minerals, because keep in mind you get 2 Zerglings for 50, and to pretty much see the entire center of the map. Nothing can slip through there without you seeing it. But it does look like I am going my more economic build that I like to go, where I get the higher tech units, while the Protoss player is going a 2-gate build, so he's going to be doing early pressure, which is actually really standard to go this. And Terran player, I think, is playing pretty standard here. And yeah, so I think we're all pretty much playing standard here. And what kind of build order are we going to do in this game, HD?
Well, this game, I actually did not want to go Roaches, and I know you guys probably hear this from me all the time, but I really don't play Roaches that often unless it's a ZVZ. So this game, I'm sticking to my gut, and my gut is telling me go Speedlings and Mutas. So that was my main strategy, and early on, I'm going to try to get Zergling speed researched as soon as I have 100 gas, and I'm moving out with these Zerglings to capture the watchtowers as well as control the map, which is going to allow Husky to build up that robotics tech, and hopefully you're going to be going Colossi. I would assume that's your build order since we're not playing against Zerg, so Immortals would not be the better choice.
Immortals are pretty good against Terran to a degree, but not as good as they are against Zerg that is going Roaches, so you're probably right. In this game, I was planning to get the Colossus out. Unfortunately for me, I got my second gas a little bit later than I'm usually comfortable with getting it. That was just kind of a little error on my part, so I am going to be altering the build just a little bit. But if you guys are playing 2v2 and one of you is Protoss, I highly recommend getting Colossus if you can get away with it, because they're just so strong against Zealots and Marines and Marauders that you'd be foolish not to get them. It looks like you're trying to poke up here, HD, into the Protoss' base. Then there is more Zealots than Zerglings almost. That probably not going to work.
Yeah, especially since now it actually takes more than 3 or 4 Zerglings to kill a Zealot. Not sure why, but in StarCraft 2, 1 Zealot can actually handle 3 to 4 Zerglings quite easily. One thing I do want to call to your guys' attention is Brood's base. He has 2 tech labs going up, so we're going to see a very Marauder-heavy build from Broods, and we'll see how that plays out towards the later game. Luckily, Zerglings, a lot of Speedlings, are pretty good against a group of Marauders, if you can surround them.
Absolutely.
And they are both moving out to my base, too.
Yeah, it actually showed the pinging on the map there, so that was me showing HD that there is stuff on the way, and thankfully for him, he took my advice, made that spine crawler. I think I said that a little bit early in the game in the chat, and so they are going to be putting pressure on the Zerg player, which this is really common, so HD, I hope you're ready.
Yeah, I did just cancel that fast expand too, because I realized there's no way I'm going to be able to defend it in time. So I do have just right now Speedling researched, and now my Zerglings are much more effective, along with that spine crawler poking them over the shoulder, like you like to say, as your Zealots and your Stalker. I wish you had kept your Stalker in the back a little. Big problem right there is usually a lot of times Stalkers do get in the front, and now we are going to try to get us around with the drones as well, getting into the mix, and hopefully this is going to be enough to keep me alive.
Absolutely, we're trying to pretty much sandwich this army at the same time while you were running away with your Zerglings, and so unfortunately we weren't on Skype for this battle, simply because it was so late I couldn't use Skype, but either way we are going to be able to lock down these units, but we did both lose quite a few there. I mean, you lost 19 units, I mean a lot of those are Zerglings because you are going such a heavy Zergling build, but overall the losses for everyone pretty even, except for me because I'm a total baller and I have the best micro in the world, so I did get my first Immortal out simply because I was kind of worried that they may have been doing a lot heavier attack there. So I do have one Immortal just kind of chilling out in my base, and it looks like you're going to be trying to harass the Terran. You might actually be able to do some damage here, but I think you back out.
Well, I am going to move with my Zerglings. We'll see. I'm not sure if I actually did. Yeah, I do engage right here. And this Terran player, Brutes, actually has some pretty good micro. Watch as he pulls away his Marauders, kind of dances around with my Zerglings. But I'm just going to go straight for his economy and take out that mule. That mule goes down. So that's a little bit of a hit towards the Terran player, but not as bad as me losing the Queen earlier on.
I'm also trying to run my Zealots in here, but they, like you said, the Marauder micro is a little bit too much for me to handle. My Immortal, though, being as awesome as he is, going to be running in here trying to cause some damage. I'm also going for the economy, killing quite a few SCVs, but I do want to mention that Brutes was moving his SCVs out for quite a while, and my Immortal gets stuck here. That really sucks, because your first Immortal doesn't come cheap, but we did kill all the SCVs, so I think the damage has been done. But at the same time, we did lose our army, so we don't have too much to show for that.
Yeah, and the tough thing about that is Bruce is a Terran player, so with 2 command centers, orbital commands, he'll be able to re-meal up and get that economy back up and running quite easily. One thing I do want to call to you guys' attention is Good Morning, which we haven't really seen too much of so far in this game, is building Void Rays inside his base, and he's even got he's got 2 Stargates, so he's committed to this Void Ray rush, and it looks like his next door neighbor, Foxy, aka Husky, might not have the air defense to deal with this.
And in chat, I'm like, yeah man, I'm cool, I got Colossus on the way. Unfortunately, I also have Void Rays about to slap me in the face, which I currently have no air defense, so big surprise here, but I do have 1 cannon on the way. But once they get 3 or 4 Void Rays, once they start charging up those lasers, they are going to be killing everything. So look at that, he killed that cannon almost instantly. And so I'm trying to use the Zealots to distract it, but this isn't looking good. Oh great, now he's on my Nexus.
Yeah, I think you might lose your main here, Husky, but that's alright because back at my base, I do have my own Spire, and I'm starting to build up my own Air Force just a little bit later than the Blue Protoss, and I am trying to use Zerglings to try and distract him. Unfortunately, he's got so many Zealots at that ramp, not gonna happen. And so you do lose your Nexus, and things are looking pretty bad because anytime you lose your main base, you're guaranteed to be really far behind.
Poor Zealots, I'm telling you guys, you don't ever want to be part of my army. I just left them there to melt away under the Void Rays, so I did lose my Nexus. Thankfully for me, I had just expanded to the high yield. But you gotta remember, this thing is completely undefended, especially over here in the open, where the Void Rays can kill all the workers with pretty much unhindered. But I do have my 1 Colossus out, which don't underestimate a Colossus in 2v2, especially against these Marauders and Zealot army. But of course, we are way behind right now, although here come your Mutalisks, kind of tear up the place, it looks like.
Yeah, right here, the Brutes actually danced around with me a bit, using his SCVs, just kind of trying to get him out of the way of fire. But unfortunately for him, I did a huge economy hit. I killed a several amount of SCVs in his main base, but look at this, he is going to push out with some Marauders, so playing intelligently, not keeping those Marauders, basically worthless against air in his base, he's going to push out and try to do some damage, and it looks like it's going to be a double attack at my natural, so we'll see if I can hold the natural for the second time.
There is action all over the place. We have 3 Void Rays in my base, you're getting attacked by a bunch of Marauders, you focus down your first Minecrawler, no problem. Thankfully, you do have those Mutalisks, and if the rest of these Marauders reinforces, may be able to take out your hatchery before the Mutalisks kill them. But then at the same time, there are 2 Void Rays killing off your Mutalisks, although I think, it's kind of hard to tell actually if you have enough to hold this off. I don't think so. The Viking and the Void Ray.
No, definitely
not. And then you did lose that hatchery though, so I mean we're trading an eye for an eye here right now, as these Marauders might actually be able to do a lot of economic damage as well. And you're Spire